Yeah, let's wait until the day to go see Mr. Victus.
Anything good to watch
To
tonight?
wonder if you hibernate.
Of the sands.
I mean, I want to watch.
Well, one of your old classmates made their father was talking with you has made my day.
Nice to see you, daughter.
Being serious.
Tell me, are you doing well? Really, answer. I can't imagine. So much. All your adventures.
Do you have anything
Worries
cool for
your
me?
Is it worth it?
What I'm doing makes a real
It
difference.
most certainly does. I got some years on you. My God. For me, it's you and what would be best for all of. Well, it's what I'm here for. It's nice to have you. It's good to have you home.
Where's the bloody medical place? What is it? Reliant Medical, there we go.
The majority of citizens here in New Atlantis count on. Welcome to our life. How can I help? My goodness, you're in quite a... Some good old-fashioned stitching, and you'll be set. I can't say you won't feel anything, but you'll be better off in the long run. Good as new. Well, you've certainly come to the...
There you go.
May you remain in good health.
Authorized personnel only. Threat has
headed for Londinian of all places. I presumed you must be onto something big. Did you find what you were looking for? Good news, then. So, what exactly are you doing here? Plenty still to be done in defeating the Terrormorphs, no? Did you? Well, I don't know what you think you heard on this recording, but I sincerely hope you didn't come to the wrong conclusions. After all, given the Cabinet's current state of anxiety, they might misinterpret such a discovery to mean I could have been involved with the attacks.
Well, that's
Perhaps I
the
can
initial thinking.
convince you to keep this among us.
I just want to know the truth.
You want to hear the words, then? I did it. The Terrormorph attacks on Tau City. New Atlantis. My doing. Years of coordination between my associate and I. Figuring out how to deploy the Lazarus plant's pollen outside of Londinian. Learning to synthesize it. Use it as a weapon. Now, being as clever as you are, I'm sure you have thoughts on why I might do such a thing. All in due time. First, I want to see if you're
No better way to show them than to use it.
Not a bad thought. But no. The attacks were a correction. When I discovered the plant, I did consider handing over what I'd found. But we were at war. And I couldn't risk information that dangerous falling into the wrong hands. So I ordered the bombing of the Londinian spaceport. Fixing two problems at once. Halting the spread of the city's Terrormorph outbreak, and sealing away knowledge of the plant's potential.
You didn't even trust your own people in the
These
UC.
were the final days of the colony war, Captain. The Freestar Collective had spies everywhere. I was concerned that if word got out, the Collective could swoop down, start breeding Lazarus plants, and overrun our worlds with waves of Terrormorphs. Just like what was happening on Londinian at that very moment. Sealing off the city to prevent mass death? It was the only option that made sense at the time.
Oh, this is actually a hard
It's easy to judge now. In that moment, I wasn't about to add another dangerous variable to an already catastrophic war. But then, as the war ended, my trial, my execution, I made a decision. After all, I'd given everything for the colonies. My life as I knew it included. And what did I get in return? Was there any effort by the UC to protect my legacy? My daughter's legacy? No. We were sacrificed when all we did was serve. So I kept what I'd learned and arranged the attacks to set things right again. My daughter, she becomes a hero. I become a trusted advisor, having found Kaiser, the research team, and cement my new position of influence when I hand them the name of the person responsible for the attack on New Atlantis. The dear departed Dr. Reginald Orlays, the associate who aided me all these years, and whom I always slated to take the fall. What luck he was stopped dead before he could hurt anyone else. His decades on the run brought to an end by another unlikely hero. You.
How could you...
It wasn't easy. But the beauty of being loathed is that people will do whatever they can not to deal with you. They wanted to pretend I didn't exist. And so I used their blind eye to my advantage. Still, establishing a back channel to Orlays via the UC recovery teams was painstaking work. I've led campaigns less nerve-wracking. They believed they were luring in wanted criminals, but were in fact delivering precisely encoded slates, filled with instructions invisible to any but their recipient, dropped off at just the right moments to fall into the proper hands. All without the UC realizing whom you were actually dealing with. Slow work. But as you can see, ultimately effective. Why would I want to be in the good graces of the people who control my very life? I don't know, Captain. Maybe I still dream of a life outside these walls someday. A new face would be needed, of course, but it wasn't an impossibility. Though now, I'm not so sure. Can't remember the many lives you've taken. Orlays was the man whose death you brought about around the moon of Etheria. The pilot of the Warlock. The man I had to eliminate. To hide my secret.
So I'm just your cleanup crew.
Captain, please. You've benefited here as much as I have. Maybe more. It's why I had Orlays reprogram Kaiser. Had that old machine guide you to where I found the plant all those years ago. I went to great lengths to ensure your and Hadrian's success. And look at the results. I know for a fact the Cabinet's planning to honor both you and Hadrian once this is all done. Isn't that preferable to languishing away in obscurity? Running jobs on the tail end of nowhere for the Vanguard? With only the vague hopes of perhaps earning the right to buy a home in the well someday.
What kind of honors are we talking about here?
Something befitting the dedication to the colonies you two have shown. While of course they can't give you a command, responsibility like that has to be earned. The Cabinet does have access to considerable resources. I expect you'll be quite pleased with the result. And none of it would have happened without my intervention.
Suppose there has been some benefits to this, yeah.
Precisely. And let's not forget the importance of our actual endgame. Eliminating the Terrormorphs. Securing knowledge of the Lazarus plant. What we've set in motion is going to protect thousands, maybe millions of lives. I'm simply requesting one more life be protected. Mine. I've already sent along the evidence of Orlays' role in the attacks to the Cabinet, leaving out my own involvement. All I ask is that you confirm as much to the Cabinet. Tell them that it was Orlays and Orlays alone. After all, I do still have a long list of threats to the UC. This needn't be the end of our good works together.
Huh.
Hunting down criminals and other threats to the United Colonies. I expect they'll give me a bit more free range once this is all over. You would help me, like you did with Orlays. how many have you killed to get where you are now?
Fair
There
enough.
are no great works that don't cost lives, Captain. Whether it's winning a war
Oh no, I can't see how many people I've killed just yet.
or digging a tram tunnel. So we sacrificed a few dozen in the attacks to possibly protect millions. That seems like a fair exchange. I only hope you'll see the same and leave my name out of the discussions to come.
I don't know what I'm going to tell the cabinet.
Well, I do hope you'll keep the larger perspective in mind, Captain. We've done something great here. Let's not squander the opportunity to do more.
Well, okay then. Clap, clap, clap on the game for catching me out there. Combat. I've killed just short of 700 people in the game so far.
Authorized personnel only.
How are you?
Has to stay here.
Yes, good. Let's go.
This is actually a hard decision. Well, shit, I don't like the war criminal. And he's, like, seriously a bad person. But...
Perfect timing. We just got in. So on our end, good news. The microbe and the acyles are both as effective against heat leeches as they are against terrormorphs.
Means either plan should work for clearing those critters off our worlds.
Considering what the Lazarus plant is capable of, I don't think we can deal with those things fast enough. I already sent along info to the cabinet to get them up to speed. So what about your end? Did you find anything? Did my father tell you what he knew about the Lazarus plant?
Solid, I'll be evil.
Orlays? Reginald Orlays? He did this? I didn't think he was still alive. You're sure it was him?
If he is responsible, let us hope the cabinet deals with it swiftly and harshly.
He's dead, look.
That's some
We
impressive
killed
work.
him. Remember?
So then give us the rundown. Where's Orlays now? Were you able to bring him in? I'm sorry to hear that. Those sorts of missions are always tough. Any idea why he might have done it? Or what he was doing with the plant?
He thought he was doing the right thing. Make sure no one could ignore
Another
it.
madman justifying butchery. Well, at least he won't be able to hurt anybody else now. Might be the best we could ask for, given the circumstances. So I guess there's nothing else to do but get this all in front of the cabinet. Unless there were other things we needed to discuss. This might be our last opportunity to talk things through before the cabinet weighs in on a decision regarding the Terrormorphs. Acyles aren't hostile to humans, but they are megafauna. If someone decides to pick a fight with one, it could get ugly.
Oh, I don't care if
But
some
they've already been
idiots
spread far and wide once before when the UC was raising them as livestock, so
attacking them
the
and
risk of
dies, they can get
introducing them
sorted.
to new worlds is minimal. Using them to clean up the terrormorphs and leeches, though, it's not going to be nearly as expedient as the microbe would be. Given what we know now about the Lazarus plant, the speed of the job does matter. But going with the Asylees, we're at least dealing with known risks. They are.
Microbe needed minimal adjustment to account for heat leech anatomy.
And the Asylees seem like they're even better at tracking leeches than morphs.
Hell of a sight to watch, though, when they catch him. Like an open airlock guzzling angry spaghetti. Microbe is gonna make the cleanup a whole lot quicker. If we're concerned about this Lazarus plant getting deployed again, that's the way to go.
The cabinet can secure the Lazarus plant, and then we're not risking any surprises when it comes to dealing with a microbe.
You're being paranoid. You know the science. You know we can make this safe.
I do know the science. I also know math. And a 1 in a million chance of a mutation isn't 0. So I guess we're still in discussion. Probably best at this point to let the cabinet weigh in, see if they have a preference. And here we go.
Oh, do I have a nice suit? But they're all on my flipping, Yeah, can I? Bet I can't. Yeah, I can't connect from here.
Welcome back, all of you. I wish we were meeting under better circumstances.
Same.
But according to Hadrian's report, and the second one I just received, it seems the Terrormorph attack on New Atlantis was no random occurrence, but a planned strike. Is what I'm reading here true?
Yes, it was deliberate attack.
My God.
An attack? Using terrormorphs? How is that possible?
You will all receive a full briefing once we're done here. So then, is what the second report claims correct? Did Reginald Orlais commit these attacks, Captain?
Yes.
That appears to be the case, ma'am. The captain tracked that information down just after our trip to Londinian.
Reginald Orlais? Wasn't there a report he'd been killed recently?
Body was found floating around Etheria. Report mentioned you were sent to try and bring him in, Captain. I guess that didn't go according to plan.
Ah, yes. I was told about your mission and who ordered it. Did you two suspect at the time Orlais might have been involved in the attacks?
We just thought we were dealing with a known criminal.
Well, it appears you were ahead of the curve. This report contains definitive evidence Orlais triggered the attacks via this Lazarus plant the Captain and Major Sanan uncovered.
Simply harrowing.
Indeed. Though it would have been preferable for him to have finally faced the UC's justice, it seems both of you are to be commended for ensuring he was dealt with before he could strike again. You have our thanks. Now, with our villain unmasked, we can attend to the other matters at hand. With the threads you've brought together here, the Lazarus plant, the attacks, the heat leeches, the three of you have likely spared thousands of lives. But it now falls to the cabinet to ensure this can never happen again. As such, the cabinet will be securing the Lazarus plant on Londinian, All materials related to the plant will be classified to ensure no one else learns its true nature.
A sound decision, Madam President.
Well, luckily the natural hostility of Londinian makes keeping out trespassers relatively easy. But we'll ensure its growth is contained, that access to the plant is only permitted via highly regulated clearances, and that our troop presence on Londinian is increased.
I think other factions should be involved.
Freestar Collective. Wow. So they have another tool to utilize against us?
I'm in agreement. I fail to see the value here.
To demonstrate to the collective that the UC isn't planning to secretly use it down the line.
Agreed. Any effort to de-escalate the situation should be considered. Being as open as possible would be a valuable move.
That is an interesting idea. A grand gesture to further display this cabinet doesn't think like those of the past.
The observers on Mars have proven such a gesture can bear fruit.
So, you want us to make nice with the collective by sharing our state secrets?
No, I want us to display plainly the UC's actual intentions, that the plant will never be used as a weapon again.
That does sound worthwhile, Chief Kulkarni. Very well. We'll get the collective involved in the management. Thank you for the suggestion, Captain. So then, to our final topic. The Cabinet has agreed to implement a plan that will deal with the Terrormorph, and now also Heat Leech presence on human worlds. In fact, we've already begun enacting measures to check all UC ports and settlements for undiscovered nests. But we all understand this is only a partial solution. The project we're embarking on will be a long and difficult one. So our first step must be deciding how exactly this all will be handled.
Madam President, this microbe is clearly too much of a risk. The Aseles are the safer approach.
To someone with limited knowledge of biology, perhaps? The technology behind the microbe is solved science, Madam President.
It's
This
not.
is dangerous. Using it to wipe out the Terrormorphs would be the quickest path to protecting humanity.
And fast results always lead to the best outcomes, don't they?
As you can see, there remains debate among the Cabinet. We were hoping your group might issue a recommendation. Major?
We've been having similar debates ourselves, but the captain has yet to weigh in.
I see these.
Captain, I know this may not be your area of expertise.
Because they're the cutest
but we'd like
thing.
to know your take on the matter.
I'm in full agreement. No need be delving into unpredictable sciences.
Oh, I'm not worried about the science. I'm worried about the ego of the...
Bolder, better, and brighter. Well, I need to write that one down for later.
Order, please.
Clunk.
And Major Sinan? Dr. Walker, you'd find this acceptable?
We trust the captain's judgment.
Then the matter is settled.
Excuse me.
We'll begin the process immediately. Today marks day one for the United Colonies Terrormorph Management Division, making you three the founding members of the TMD. As befits such a group, the Cabinet wanted to display its gratitude. Today, we will be adding 3 new Class 1 citizens to our ranks.
Class 1? For the 3 of us? Are you joking?
What he means to say is, thank you, ma'am.
Oh, yeah. Thank you, ma'am.
I have the problem. I end up reading the subtitles quicker than the audio, so I'll start laughing at something funny before it's actually been said.
You all have earned it. Now, there's much to be done. Major Sinan, Dr. Walker, I hope you two are willing to continue your efforts spearheading the TMD's research on Mars.
We'd be honored, ma'am.
You're a
for you,
tier 1
Captain,
citizen, but bugger off to
Vanguard will
Mars.
be providing much of the on-the-ground support for the TMD. As a member of both the Vanguard and the TMD, I believe you'll have your pick of duties. Speak to your commander, Tuala, if I recall correctly. He should be able to provide you with assignments going forward, plus help you collect the benefits that come with being named Class 1. On behalf of the whole of the United Colonies, you have our sincerest gratitude. This meeting is adjourned.
If you've seen me...
Captain, I guess we've got our assignments. I just wanted to say, I could have never guessed where all this was going to lead. But now,
Yeah, if
knowing
you've
what
seen
I
me
do,
in games like
that
this
my
before, I do the
past
same
is
thing.
less of a closed book than I thought it was. Well, I've just spent a lot of my life in pursuit of the truth. So, you bringing it straight to me, it just means a lot. The best ones certainly do. You know, I was thinking...
I still should have told her before
while we were
then.
there on the podium, if I wanted to try and see him again. But I knew the answer before I even finished the thought. I didn't. Because confronting him, what would I gain from that? From letting him remind me I can never truly be rid of him? Nothing. Now, all I'd be doing is acknowledging that he still has some sway over my life. And while I can't do anything about his role in my past, I'm not about to let him control my future. And thanks to what we've done together, that future is brighter than it has been in a long time. Words can't do justice to how grateful I am for that.
Glad I was able to help.
Well, I think it's safe to say you succeeded beyond anyone's wildest dreams. It's been an honor, Captain. Good luck out there.
You know, the people who say this game has bad writing, I genuinely cannot tell how they've played the game, because it's like, are they playing the same game as me, or what, or are they just skipping through all the dialogue and not listening to anything? Because that's sort of the only way I can work out that they say it's bad writing. Like, yeah, if you're just talking to a random NPC that goes, "Hello, the weather sure is nice today," yeah, that's sort of gonna get old after a while. But like this whole bloody quest line, and that I got played like a Sergeant Yumi can have a stick shoved up his arse.
Howdy.
That I got played like a fiddle by Ray Victus. I knew he was doing something. I knew he was doing something, but I expected him to be trying to do an escape, not be behind the whole bloody attack.
Informed us of your new status. Congratulations on making Class 1.
Well, well, I've got to say, this is a first. I've never had a Class 1 citizen in my ranks before. Congratulations, Captain. No need to thank me. You brought this on yourself. I've already gone ahead and processed your Class 1 benefits. All UC goods and services should now have a thanks for protecting the colonies discount. And the credits should be in your accounts now. But to get into your penthouse, you'll have to pay a visit to the Aphelion Realty office. They should be able to grant you access.
12,000? Is that it?
Higher-ups wanted to make sure you know how much they appreciate what you've done. But with all that squared, it's time to get you a new assignment. There are your standard Vanguard missions, putting those pilot skills to use defending UC space. Or you could help the TMD in cleaning up Terrormorphs. Oh, and I got a request from Dr. Walker. Wanted your help collecting biological samples to keep an eye out for any, new alien threats on the horizon. Any of those missions call to you?
Excuse me. Yeah, Vanguard.
Suppose that's true. Well, we can remedy that right now. Just getting those coordinates to you now. Report says ships at these coordinates fired on United Colonies craft. You're clear to use lethal force if necessary.
Oh, I will.
Notes mention a spacer presence in that sector, so be ready.
I will murder them all after I've found my nice house. So, where the hell is the Aphelion Realty place? I assume that's gonna be in an activity? Yes, speak to Zora. Zora, that's a nice name. Actually, I had a friend called Zara once. Very nice woman now. How time screweth.
Never a better time than right now to settle down and make New Atlantis home. If you're a citizen, of course. Well, well, if it isn't the United Colony's newest Class 1 citizen, you've made quite a name for yourself in New Atlantis. In fact, the higher-ups want to thank you for your dedicated service by giving you one of the nicest pieces of real estate in the city. It's a premium penthouse at the top of Mercury Tower. Best location in New Atlantis, in my professional opinion. What do you say? It'll just take a second to get you registered as the owner.
Well, yeah.
Great! You're in for a real treat. It's one of my favorite apartments in the city. Okay, you're all set. Your new home's located in Mercury Tower in the residential district. You'll love the place. It has a gorgeous floor plan and an unbeatable view of the city. Now that you're an owner, I'm sure I'll be seeing you around town.
Why do I have building materials being adding to my ship? Residential district. Why would I have building materials added to my ship? There's Apollo Tower. Oh, yeah, I'm supposed to be doing a crime thing here. No. No, not a crime thing, but
All of our signature dishes. I do hope you are enjoying your time in New Atlantis.
Most unfortunate. Well, I wasn't privy to the entire argument, so I assume that would be the slender gentleman, Hugo Fournier. He was the one who excused. I believe he lives in Enjoy the rest of your day.
Bleh.
I'm sorry, I didn't catch what you said.
I was making a critique of the coffee here. Suffice to say, it wasn't a positive review. I just don't understand why such a first-class restaurant can be satisfied with serving second-rate coffee. Of course, it could just be my palate. Funny you should ask. I recently dined with a friend of mine with ties to the Freestar Collective, and he claims the best cup of joe he's ever had was in Aquila City.
Interesting.
Yes, although I doubted him at first, but then he showed me the proof. In his hand was a single coffee bean, fermented in the digestive tract of
Cat
an alien
crap
beast.
coffee. Have you ever heard of cat crap coffee, Auditor?
It seems that would be the case. Following this discovery, I hired a man to feed coffee beans to predators. But it seems after consuming the beans, the beast decided to make a meal of him. So I need someone to find this beast and remove my property from its stomach. As for compensation, you... Excellent. I will have the coordinates sent to your ship. It is, as the saying goes, I think the most commonly requested... Goodbye.
Are they sponsoring you? No. So there's something called Catcraft Coffee, and I assume there's going to be various similar something similar. Yeah. So. So yeah, they feed coffee beans to cats. The cats crap the coffee beans out, and they
Definitely better than the last interceptor.
But why did they replace the handler? I thought the actress was amazing.
Words are definitely hard, especially when I've had however much whiskey I've had. But yeah.